And now it's time to get your notebook out and prepare yourself to soak in some knowledge, because we're going to have a couple of guests that have used ritual and they continue to use ritual in profound ways. And our next guest uses rituals to heal, and the results are pretty astounding. Master Stephen Ko is a senior disciple and personal student of Grand Master Choga Kaksui, the founder of Pranic Healing. And Master Ko and his wife Daphne started the first Pranic Healing Center outside of the Philippines here in the United States.
And Master Ko is an internationally renowned lecturer. He's a trainer and practitioner of pranic healing who has taught the art of healing and human energy to thousands of students in the United States. His students include hundreds of physicians and nurses and dentists and acupuncturists, chiropractors, social workers, psychologists, and alternative healthcare practitioners from all parts of the world.
Yeah. And over the past 10 years, Master Ko students have introduced pranic healing even into the medical community. They've done it through classes at medical teaching centers, and while he himself has shared pranic healing at numerous hospitals, places like Kaiser Permanente in Los Angeles and Cedars-Sinai Center also in Los Angeles, and Barnes Jewish Hospital in St. Louis. And today you're going to get to hear how Master Ko has used the rituals of pranic healing to create truly remarkable results among those he's treated, including members of his own family.
Master Ko, we're so happy you're able to be with us and to talk about how you have used the rituals of pranic healing to help heal so many people.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. It's wonderful always to be sharing all these powerful techniques and rituals with all of you.
So would you take a few minutes and just tell people about how your wife's hip injury led you to pranic healing and what happened?
Well, in 1988, my wife fell from about 14 feet. And, the doctor said because it was such a bad break, the brain literally, the bone literally separated, the doctor said it'll take about 3.5 months before she can put weight on it. Well, I looked around. That's when I discovered pranic healing. Pranic healing was started by a very advanced spiritual teacher named Grandmaster Choga Kaksui. He's my spiritual teacher. And it's interesting that after I followed the step-by-step rituals, or what we call protocols, which are essentially, step-by-step routines that you follow to allow the body to have massive amounts of energy to heal itself. I remember doing it, 3 times a day? I mean, literally, it was a ritual. Morning, noon, night. Doing it over and over again. In 2 weeks, she could walk. And in about 5 weeks or so, she was running. And the interesting thing about all of this is if I simply follow it, even though I could not feel much of this energy, even if I had those doubts, the interesting thing is if you follow a certain step-by-step techniques and it produces a certain result, then you can take that result and expect it each time. You just simply follow the steps that led into it. And that's the power of having rituals and routines, or what we call protocols, in pranic healing.
You also worked with a young woman who came in with her boyfriend who was looking for relief from his back pain. And she had a problem, I think, with her vision, and it turned out her father was quite well known. Could you share that story with us?
Sure. It's actually funny because, usually after we have these pranic healing courses, in the end, we would see some people who need help and apply the techniques to help them out. And this lady came in with her boyfriend, and I really thought that the main treatment or the healing technique was on her boyfriend's back pain. Well, after we helped him with that and he felt better, she came to me and says, her name was Jill. Jill said, "Can you help me with something?" I go, "For what?" And we usually have them fill out a form so we know, the little details of what happened and so on. So and he says, "Blindness on one eye." I said, "Oh, you're blind." And she said, "Yeah, why don't you give it a try?" I go, what do you want me to do? You're blind." And she said, "Well, that eye has been blind for a period, I think, really 4 years due to her blood clotting so fast. So she would go into a doctor and they would use laser to break out the blood clot. Well, as you heard the saying, sometimes the treatment is worse than the ailment or the problem. Make a long story short, she became blind from the treatment. So I said, "Well, what do you want me to do?" And then I thought about it. After she insisted so much, I said, in pranic healing, we have these protocols or routines that also use color. When you inhale, exhale, it's like if you have somebody who could see energy, it's like light, like an aura or something like that, right? Chi, prana. But these actually have different frequencies. So these different frequencies manifest as certain color energies. So in the color protocols or routines, we have this technique called regeneration. So by projecting a series or routines of colors, it allows the body to help itself even faster. So I tried it. I said, well, what I got to lose? I can't mess this one up. I mean, you can't make it any blinder. So I just followed step 1, step 2, step 3. And it's interesting, in 45 minutes, she could see. I was more surprised than she was. And it reminded me the power of following step-by-step rituals or routines that allows a person to really get this life-giving energy from the environment. So what I didn't know was that she's actually the daughter of one of the very, very famous Emmy Awards producers. And because of that, somehow one thing led to other. We end up in a TV news segment, and the world knew that pranic healing can help this lady improve her eyesight, and that's what happened.